Hello and welcome to another episode of Bergen Stages, our entertainment magazine here at Bergen Community College. I'm Jim Bumgardner, your host, and welcome. Today I have the opportunity of talking about a show we've just completed here at the college called the 1940s Radio Hour. I had the privilege of directing the show, and I have two of my favorite actors from the show with me today, Sarah Strickland and John Cepeda. Welcome, guys, to the show. Thank you for coming. So Sarah, you're a newbie pretty much to the college. You just started last year.
Yes,
and where did you come from?
I went to Westwood High School, and then I came here.
Did you do theater while you were at Westwood?
Yeah, I did. My first show was actually in junior high. We did Grease.
Who'd you play?
Oh, I was like extra greaser, so I was in the chorus. But you know, that when I was in high school, that was the first show though, and then I did all the shows through high school.
What else did you do there? They've got a good program. They've got a really good program.
Oh, well, thank you,
I
guess.
Yeah, no, totally.
We did Music Man was my senior year. That was fun. I got to be married, which I love.
Great
I love that show.
I mean, she's such a strong woman. I mean, she really is. And in the end, she goes with the guy, but she still knows what's going on there. She's smart.
And her songs are pretty. So.
Oh, gorgeous songs.
Was,
and you've got a gorgeous voice, so that fits together there. And John Cepeda, an alumnus here now.
Yes.
You're at Ramapo?
I'm at Ramapo,
How's it going?
It's going really well. It's definitely different, but in a good way.
You're finishing your first semester.
Yes, finishing my first semester.
Wow, how cool is that?
It went by really fast, to be honest. It was just like, now it's finals. And
yeah. So John, you did several shows while you've been here, but let's go before that. How did we find you? How did you get to us? Where did you go to high school?
I went to Paramus High School. My first show at Paramus High School was Man of La Mancha. I played Anselmo, one of the muleteers, singing Little Bird in the corner.
Oh,
so it was a really good show. I just remember like having to grow my hair really, really long because we were all in prison. There's no haircuts. So. I did that. I also did my senior year. I did 1776, which is a cute little musical about the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So that was also fun. We get to wear wigs and everything.
You like the wig thing, do you, and the hair?
Yeah.
It makes the act.
It's just like, oh, now I'm from 1776.
Cool. And while you were here, you did a lot of shows with us. I was trying to remember that. I know Mousetrap you did. I know both of you were in Spelling Bee.
Yes, that was fun.
And completely different roles than what you're doing now.
Oh, yes,
So who did you play in Spelling Bee? What was it?
I was Rona.
Rona, the teacher.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. And
Chip Tolentino?
Chip Tolentino, the bad boy of the group, huh?
Yes, the Boy Scout.
Our little Boy Scout, yeah.
The kid from up.
What else did you do while you were here?
I did Cabaret, the Mousetrap. I also did Almost Maine, and Spelling Bee, and I did the Playwrights.
Great, Young Playwrights Festival, right? Yeah, that Mary Clifford does.
Yeah, now I'm doing, did
1940s Radio Hour, which is fun. A whole different role for you because you don't get to sing in this one, but Sarah does. So it's just kind of an interesting look at the different sides of you guys. So let me just talk about your experience here now at the college, Sarah. You're a theater major, an acting theater major?
Just
general theater major. And so what do you do here? What is your requirement to be a theater major here at Bergen?
I mean, at Bergen, you really you have to take all your gen eds, so.
Sure.
Which I got most of those done with,
which
is
for our
nice.
audience is the English and the math and the sciences and the social sciences.
And now I'm more into like the theater classes, so like basic acting technique where you learn basic things about like how to stand on stage and stage directions. And next semester I'll be taking scene study and stage makeup. So kind of getting into more of the fun stuff. I get to make up my face every day in class, so that's going to be fun. Yeah.
And I was just talking to a class the other day about how important makeup is, and it's sometimes the last thing we think about. But you're obviously talking about the hair and wigs and stuff like that, so we know how important it is. And why do we throw it on, the day before a performance? Like, shouldn't we spend some more time with this stuff? And that's why this class does that. It gets you ready so that you don't have to spend more time in rehearsals getting ready for your makeup. You've taken a stage makeup class. Well, that's great. And John, what is your major?
International Studies.
Studies.
At Ramapo,
and you were a general.
I was a general liberal arts professional studies here at Bergen. Graduated last year, or this year rather, May of this year.
Right.
And I've always just done theater because it was just so fun for me. I mean,
it's the hobby.
It's the hobby. It is. It's like my after school activity. You know, when my relatives back in the Philippines say like, oh, what sport does your son do? And my dad goes like, oh, he does theater. Oh, and you're like, oh, you
That
sing?
sport.
You sing? And I'm like, yes, I do. And I just walk away because I know they're going to be like, do it.
That's great. And so, what is an international studies major? What is your hope for the future then with that?
I really want to work with charitable organizations, nonprofit organizations. I'm trying now to get an internship in the city with some of the organizations. So hopefully.
Do you see these two worlds coming together, this theater world and this international studies? Have you thought of anything that yet?
I hope so.
I
hope that I'll be able to have the time to do theater.
Either working with young people
Especially
or
teaching.
yeah.
I always like teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe teaching how to act or putting on musical theater numbers, that'd be really cool.
And I think there's always rich themes in shows, as I know that you guys have studied, in shows that might be able to get a message to someone. So if these young people are doing a show, it could be teaching other people about something international studies. Yeah.
We'll find the link.
You'll totally do it well, and I know you'll do great there. So you guys now, 1940s Radio Hour.
Yes.
What an opportunity! And I have to say, I love the show. I love directing it. It was a wonderful world to create, and then you guys just embodied it. So let's go through just the process of putting the show together. You auditioned. So what did you have to do, Sarah, to audition for us?
We sang "Strike Up the Band," and then we danced a little bit after that. And some people stayed to sing songs, but you were actually felt like you knew exactly what you were looking for because not a lot of people stayed after, and then. Next thing you knew, the cast list was up. So
well, it was great. We had Jess Abrams, who's unbelievable musical director, and Diana Chapina, who's our choreographer, who's been wonderful as well. So I think just collaborating with them when we knew what we wanted when people were walking in the room, and so it doesn't take a lot. If you know what you want. Then why waste time with other people? Just start focusing on those that you can, that might have the potential, and start working with them. And so it went all right, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was very nervous, even though I felt like I was more nervous because I had known you from last year, from the last show I had done, and I knew Jess and Diana as well, so that made me kind of nervous when I was walking in there.
It should have been easier because you know us as opposed to the other way around.
I was even more nervous, but I mean, it ended up
just fine.
Good because got cast.
And
so,
a great role. Ginger's such a great role.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And John, how was the audition for you?
The audition was really great. I came in, to be honest, a lot more confident than I usually do.
Sweet, good.
Not only because I was able to work with the production staff before, but I was confident with the music. I liked it. I wasn't confident about the dance, but I lived through it. But it was definitely a sense of more confidence, and I feel like every time I audition, it's always I'm growing in confidence, and that's great for me.
And I think that's a lesson to actors, is that you can't, the more you audition, it's kind of like public speaking. The more you get up and do it, the easier it gets. And the same way with auditioning. If you feel confident with the material, just get up there and do it. Just have a good time performing it. But Strike Up the Band, did either of you know this song before you had to learn it?
I didn't.
It's so funny. I find this about most of the songs of the 1940s Radio Hour nobody had heard, and that it's like songs I lived with all my life. I knew from growing up, my grandmother singing them to me, so I knew all these songs from the 40s, but I knew these were kind of fresh songs for the two of you guys to sing there. So then you got cast, and then what did we do?
Rehearsal. The rehearsal process.
Yeah, it was an interesting process. You worked really hard on music first, right?
The music was difficult because this 40s jazz style is very not, if you're having grown up listening to it, your ears are not used to it at all, and there's a bunch of clashing notes and chords that you're not used to hearing, so it was really difficult to learn, especially because the cast was so small that everyone was pretty much on their own learning one note. Yeah. You had no one else there to back you up. So.
Yeah, and it's very tight harmonies. So, and you're very, because you're mic'd in the broadcast itself, you're suddenly very out there, and people. So you got to get these notes right. So I think Jess really worked great with you all, and you really pulled it off. And some. I mean, I think most of the biggest comments I got from the show were how fun these characters were that you created, and how great the music was. And that pays tribute to Jess and the work that you guys did on that sort of stuff. But we didn't do music. We worked on some of the blocking. So,
yes, we did.
The staging of it.
In general, with the music and the blocking, the acting, the toughest part was actually bringing yourself as an actor and the audience to the 1940s. that's the hardest part, bringing back 72 years ago, and just do it today. And that's the hardest part. The music, the acting itself, it's
The
more
style.
comedic, slapstick, and you really gotta kind of push yourself. Like I know I was really pushed by the character because he was kind of crazy, and I'm not that crazy angry person. And
You're normally very quiet.
Yeah.
And suddenly he's a stage manager that's yelling at everybody and getting in place.
I mean, I stage managed before, and I said, I'll never do this again. It's too much pressure, and I'm not mean enough to do it.
And there you are.
And I'm like, okay, I got to do it again in round 2.
So how different was this musical than doing Marion or doing Spelling Bee? How this process, what was different about 1940s Radio Hour compared to other musicals you've done? Or was there any difference in putting it up?
I would say that it is very different, not only because this show is from the 40s, but in comparison to something like Spelling Bee, when I'm supposed to be 10 or 12 years old, now I'm a grown man stage managing this radio show. So for me, it was definitely just focusing on, the words and making sure that I get them right, they make sense, because if they don't make sense, then the stage manager is just, someone that you won't pay attention to.
Right.
And you won't get the right report for, with your actors or singers.
Yeah. Sarah, any difference in
I
doing
mean,
this?
the show is not formatted like a typical musical theater show. There's no intermission, so as an actor, you have to go in like really just prepared and ready to go straight through the whole show. You don't get a break. You don't
leave the stage,
yeah, you don't really leave
I mean,
the
Ginger
stage.
does a couple times to go potty.
Yes, she does.
So she gets up fever, but most of the time, once you enter there, you are there the entire time. So it's an interesting workout in that retrospect. But it's also, you and I spent some time, director, actor, talking together because Walton Jones didn't give us a lot of meat to these characters. You got lines to say, so we had to do more discovery than I find as a director having to do in most shows. It's kind of there, and you see the arc of the character, you see where they're going, you have all that stuff kind of given to you in the script itself, but this is kind of little pieces that we had to string together to create her. And you do a beautiful job, both of you do, but we had to find out what that was, which is kind of fun.
And I actually find that better because it gives you a chance to just grow and develop yourself as an actor and really think about the character.
Yeah.
So.
And you two your characters came together. I mean, you two were partnered up in a kind of an odd way. You kind of have Lou has a kind of crush on Ginger, although Lou's married. So I think it's a very platonic thing. I think it's an unrequited attraction, and Ginger's okay with that.
Yeah, I think Ginger likes to flirt, so she's cool. If Lou's going to show her attention,
great flirt, absolutely. And I love. There's this one moment where the two of you're teaching her a dance number. You do Blues in the Night, and then Lou will teach you how to do this bit of choreography, which is so out of character, which the audience loves because it's so out of character. We've already gotten to know Lou in just 10 minutes, and then suddenly we get this relationship with each other. So it's just really fun. To watch you two working together, it's a great chemistry. And then when you actually do it, and then you're over on the sides dancing with her, they love it, they caught it, they're with you. So this is stuff you guys created in the moment of it. So we're going to take a short break right now, and we'll come back and bring some music to our show today. So hang in there, and we'll be right back to you. So come right back, and we'll talk more about the 1940s Radio Hour.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
7,000 students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. Keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
For tickets or more information, call the box office at 201-447-7428 or visit us at tickets.bergen.edu.
Hi, and welcome back to Bergen Stages. I'm Jim Bumgardner, your host, and today we've been talking about the 1940s radio hour with two of my favorite actors, Sarah Strickland and John Cepeda. We've been talking about the show. We were just talking about the relationship with each other, but we didn't talk about the show itself and how it becomes this live broadcast. What happens in the midst of this half hour into the show? What transpires, Sarah?
Well, the show opens, and I mean, the actors, we call it the pre-show, and it's kind of before the broadcast starts, and everyone's just kind of milling around, getting their stuff together, and then when the broadcast starts, you could tell like there's a different energy in the air, and all the actors are now in this show within the show, sort of, and everyone's
so they create
doing
this,
a live broadcast.
So it's December of 1942, and we're in New York City at a radio station. And when the broadcast happens, the live broadcast, we have a studio audience there. So you even get to play this studio audience. And it's just filled with songs and comedy routines and great commercials along the way there, too. But right now, we're going to cut away to one of the songs that you did. You did this with Philip Hatchett, Alex Rivera, and Amanda Zacconi. And this is called Let's Do It. Anything about the song before we cut away to it?
It was just a lot of fun. I mean, it's a song that a lot of people know, and the harmonies were fun.
Tight harmony.
So, yeah.
But the big thing, it's a cappella.
Yeah,
you
well,
did
that was the fun part.
Which is great. All you do is have this drum beat right behind you on the snare, just kind of keeping it going, but you do it a cappella, which is just a wonderful. So it's a very tight harmony and great lyrics to this song. So we'll just take a moment right now, and we'll cut away to Let's Do It, Let's Fall in Love by Cole Porter.
Birds do it, bees do it, even educated, please do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love.
Come on, let's do it. Let's fall in love.
The best upper sets. Do it.
Lithuanians, and let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's fall in love. The Dutch in old Amsterdam. Do it.
Not to mention the Finns, folks in Siam. Do it. Think of Siamese twins.
Some Argentines without means. Do it.
People say in Boston even beans do it. Sponges, they say, do it. Oysters down in Oyster Bay, do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Cold Cape Cod clams against their wish, do it. Even lazy jellyfish, do it. Let's do it. Let's fall in love. Electric eels, I might add, do it. Though it shocks me, I know. Why ask if shad do it? Way to bring me shad rope.
In shallow shoals, English souls do it. Goldfish in the privacy of bowls do it.
Let's do it. Let's fall in love, yeah. Let's fall in love, yeah. Let's fall in love.
What a great song that is. I mean, what great harmonies you guys did, and it's just a fun number, and you could tell the audience loved the song, just like all the music in this particular show. You also get to do a great rendition of Blues in the Night, which you get to play Ginger to her hilt, which is wonderful, with your boa and stringing along those four men doing the backups to it. So it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful music you get to do in the show. And then John, on top of being the stage manager in the show and running things, you also do the sound effects table. And so what was that like? What went on over that table there, stage left?
It was really great because I've never really played an instrument, so I kind of thought about it as playing an instrument. I had this little mallet, just hitting things. just putting stuff into glasses. And it was really great because it's kind of like that moment that I want the audience to just kind of close their eyes and just kind of think, you know, this is supposed to be a radio show. And look at all of this, you know, the door shutting, is it really working? The phone ringing, the locking. It was a great experience. It kind of gave me a chance to be like a instrument player for once. And
Certainly. And that's an interesting way to put it. I've never thought about it that way, but you're absolutely right. And what we do what happened within the show is we did a little bit of a Christmas Carol, the story of Ebenezer Scrooge, and you had all those sound effects table. And this is such a great thing that happened in radio that we've totally forgotten about. So when you listen to these old broadcasts, you hear the clomp clomp down the hallway of the shoes, the keys jingling that you do.
the carriage hoop.
The carriage hoops, you know, it's almost Monty Python-esque in the background there. And then we do snow, and I know you get Michael to help you with the snow, walking in snow.
At first I was like, how do we do snow? And then like, oh, this box of cornflakes.
Cornflakes.
Like,
And I
okay.
think that must be what those sound effects people did, is trying to think, what would be the best way to make that sound? And they would do probably what you did, just close your eyes and, does this sound? No, get me this, does this sound like it? So I think it's such a trial and error. Yeah, I mean, I always remember hearing the story of Orson Welles in, oh my gosh,
War of the Worlds?
War of the Worlds, thank you, trying to come up with the sound of things being destroyed, and he couldn't find it. He finally took a microphone down the hallway to a toilet flushing. And that's where he got there. He said, that's the sound. And so it's just innovative. I think they're constantly trying to think of what could make that sound. So it was just a great piece of what put this live broadcast together there. And so the show continues on with some great commercials. What were some of the commercials, Sarah, that we plug in this thing? Shamelessly
there
we
was
plug.
a bunch. I mean, my commercial was the Eskimo pie. So
Eskimo pies.
Ginger kind of took that over the top, which was fun as an actress to do.
And the audience
Yeah.
loves it, loves it. Yeah.
Sal Hepatica.
Sal Hepatica, yeah.
United States Rubber Company.
Yeah, right, United States Rubber Company. I know we
Chiquita
did
Banana.
Chiquita Banana. The girls come out and sing the old Chiquita.
Cashmere Bouquet.
Cashmere Bouquet.
Yeah.
So tons of commercials in this thing. We really
Yeah,
plug a
yeah.
lot, even right to the end. Clifton Alex says, you know,
Maxwell,
Maxwell. So one more plug there. But these were the sponsors for these shows, and these shows wouldn't exist if you didn't do these commercials there. But it was also interesting because in the show, you don't have to memorize this whole hour of the show. Does not have to be memorized. Why? Why am I saying that, Sarah?
Well, in the 40s, everyone would have their scripts during a radio show. So, I mean, as an actor, it was weird.
Bizarre.
It was different because I kind of wanted to rely on it, but I knew in the back of my mind, I was like, if there's a page missing or something, like you as a person still need to know, even though
Anything
your
could
character
happen.
does it. Yeah.
Right. Anything could happen. But the fact is that you're right. You normally got your rewrites up to showtime. And so you weren't quite sure what was in, what was not in, what got changed. So you just had the script. It was radio, and the audience knew that. I mean, your radio audience would know that you were talking, reading a script, but they loved watching that sort of thing and watching the behind-the-scenes stuff. And then, of course, we have the applause sign and the on-the-air sign, and talking about the set. John Ehrenberg did a fabulous job of the set. Talk about the set a little bit. John, can you?
It was great because there were so many components. I don't think I've ever seen a set that complicated. The doors, the windows, even to the posters. And you know, the things on the
detail work.
clipboard. And it was just like, when I came in and saw it, I was like, wow, there's so many levels to this. That's really fascinating.
It's great. It was a sub-basement radio station, so we get you guys coming down, and you see them coming through the steps on a snowy day, and then coming down even more steps down to this level there. Yeah, it was really fun. Was it fun to play? Was it fun to do those levels and come in? Because I know one time you're calling for him at the end of the play.
Yeah. It makes it a lot more interesting because a lot of the times you don't have like any raised levels or anything, so you're just coming in stage left, stage right over and over, but kind of get to use like these stairs and yeah,
it was
fun.
an interesting rehearsing it too. It's going, I know where you guys are, but you don't know
yeah.
where you are, but I know in my mind you're here and you're going to be coming down here and you look like, but I'm behind him, but no, you're way up.
And it definitely makes things crazier, which is perfect for like a radio show, almost about to go to broadcast, and everyone is just crazy running around, not knowing what they're about to do. And it just adds on to the part of the show.
Yeah, I know people have to come to it 2 or 3 times to catch everything that's going on because while someone might be at the mic doing stuff, you guys are doing all sorts of stuff all over the place. Running around even to the sound booth where Stanley is working. Wally's constantly are picking up more deliveries, our delivery boy. So that just, it becomes a fun
Yeah.
set. And how about costumes? Marie Natali did another wonderful job with costumes there.
Costumes are always fun. Mine was like very interesting this year because it was very set to the period. I wore snood, which I mean I didn't really even know what it was before, but it was interesting to get to work with something new, and that was distinct to the time period. And Marie always does a great job with the costumes. They always look great on stage.
They do.
So.
She's just wonderful. And we got Patrick Ryan did the sound with the mics and all that sort of stuff. Rich Sassoon did the lighting. So it was a beautifully well-lit show, and you really saw the difference between the on-the-air broadcast and the not. So it was a great team coming together. Dan Conrad helped put all those details with his props and things like that, so it was a great group together. Guys, this has been way too short. I do want to thank you guys for coming in. Thanks for doing such a beautiful job with the 1940s Radio Hour, and good luck, and we'll see you in more stuff hopefully soon. Yes. But before we wrap up today, I do want to thank, this is the end of our second season here of Bergen Stages. I can't believe we've been doing this for 2 years. This has just gone by way too quickly. This season, we brought shows talking about the Heiress, another fun show I got to direct. We started with the Heiress, then we did 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. We did a special edition of Summer Stock. We brought in Simone Serra and Alexander Rivera to talk about what actors do to prepare for Summer Stock, something that most of our actors will try and do at some point during their career of getting jobs in these summer theater companies. We came back from the summer and did a shoot about Accidental Death of an Anarchist, which was our Dario Fo political satire that we did in the midst of Hurricane Sandy there. And then we are wrapping up with 1940s Radio Hour. And then we're also doing a special segment that we'll continue on into our third season, which is paying tribute to our community's theaters in the neighborhood. We will keep having them come in, talk about their companies and things that they're doing, and it's just been a wonderful experience being able to work with these different companies there. So we hope that you will catch these episodes. We'll keep airing them over and over again so that you'll get to know some of our neighbors in the community. And I know, John, I believe you've done some stuff in some of the community theaters.
Yes, I've done Rent and Urinetown Community
Which
Theater.
theater did you do it in?
We ended up performing at the Fairlawn Community Center.
And which group was?
New Visions Players.
New Visions Players.
Yes.
Great, great. And Sarah, have you had the opportunity to work on any of these communities?
I did one this summer in Leonia.
Which
it was
the
a summer stage.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah,
good.
they were a lot of fun to work with, and we did Annie, so lots of little kids. It was
Lots
cute.
of kids.
Yeah.
But it's great to pay tribute to our community. So what we did this season was take the spotlight off ourselves for a little bit and just kind of shine it around Bergen County, saying, we have got some of the most talented people, not just at our school, but also in our community. So we love having them come in. So we've had a couple of these people from each of these theater companies come in and talk about it. So we hope that you will catch some of these particular shows that we have here. We've also been able to have guests, whether they're designers or actors, on our show. So it's been great to pay tribute to you and your great profession. We hope that you'll continue acting whatever way, either as a profession or just your hobby. And we do think that you will continue being an actress and working hard at this career. And so we love to pay tribute to our actors as well on our show, Bergen Stages, but we also will pay tribute to our designers, our directors, and all the people that work behind the scenes so hard to make these shows possible. A lot goes into it, and so we love having you watch and listen to some of the ideas that go behind making our productions possible here. It's just been wonderful, and of course, special thanks to Bergen Community College for allowing us airtime, the time to have the TV studio to be able to present this to you. If you do catch the show, catch me in the lobby and please tell me that you saw it. We'd like to know that we're reaching out to you. Whether you liked it or didn't like it, I'm willing to take whatever you have to say, but we do want to know that this is reaching to a wider community. We also have our website, so you'll be able to pick that up as well, so that if you miss an episode, you can just go on to the internet and catch the episode. So please tune in next season. We'll have more exciting guests, just like the ones we had today. So Sarah, John, thanks again. And thank you and everybody here at Bergen Stages. Come back. Thank you.